Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health paradigm. We do that as often as we can, usually several times per week, although sometimes my schedule isn't as friendly as I'd like it to be. We've got over 1,500 of these available at this particular juncture, and we continue to add whenever I can, whenever my schedule will allow. Anyway, this is the way that we kind of make connections with a kind of deeper way of moving things forward. And so this is something we do on a regular basis. Anyway, I encourage you to reach out and make something good happen. A couple ways you can do that: through coaching at PO Perception on Twitter and or in the About Me section of the YouTube page. Either way will get you in contact with me or a member of my staff, my team, and we'll make something happen from there. The first thing is this is basically about gaslighting. What are some signs that someone is using gaslighting related language as it relates to you? The first thing is they accuse you of being too sensitive. Look, what you're sensitive about, what you're triggered about, the things that matter to you in terms of not being treated like in a disrespectful manner is unique to you, and you need to be able to express that in a way that makes sense for you to express. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to always be in agreement with how another person treats you, but the reality of the situation is if a person is accusing you of being too sensitive, it's generally because they have no real committed interest in trying to understand your emotional connections or sensitivities. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to agree with the way you see the world at every given moment, but the desire to connect with you on a deeper level is important, and also understanding that there is a certain level of need to be able to be tolerant of what's bothering you and or the challenges that exist for you is also super important. The next thing is they consider what they're saying a joke. In other words, when they're called out on their negative behavior, when they're called out on the gaslighting behavior, they'll just say, I'm joking, or you're taking things too seriously, putting all of the blame back on you. Remember, a gaslighting individual is a person who is committed to only their own interest as it relates to what matters to them. And so their idea is going to be to put things back on you when you call them out about the things that they're doing that don't serve well, actually moving things forward, and or when you're calling them out about negative behavior or behavior they shouldn't be engaged in at any level. They will also downplay your emotional state. They'll downplay the fact that you feel hurt or negatively impacted by their actions. They'll try and say things are no big deal or that you're making a big deal out of something that isn't a big deal. Basically, they will try to take any level of personal responsibility away from themselves as often and as quickly as they can so that you begin to understand the value of how to behave around them. They are, remember, trying to condition you to behave in a way that they think is appropriate. They don't really care one way or the other about how they behave or how they come across. Instead, they're focused on trying to get you to be compliant to the way they believe you should behave. Gaslighting is generally done so that you doubt your own ability to make your own decisions. They will consider you of overanalyzing things. In other words, that your opinions are too detailed and or that you care more about having a level of analyzing in order to be able to connect on a deeper level with the overall value of what continues in a good way there. And so when you begin to understand that someone is manipulating your overall value and ability to be able to gain something from you, then you will begin to also understand that their motive is more about what they can gain and not necessarily helping you at any level and or helping you to further your own relationships in any way. Also, remember that they will blame you for anything that you do that isn't in alignment with what they believe should be there. So, the continuation of blame is something that you must continue to look at and evaluate whether you want to continue it in your life. And so, hopefully, that is helpful. And I encourage you keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.